Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new pickup pile for you today, and today we are checking in with our long distance lovers, basically, our long distance people. So we're asking the question, what's going on in your long distance situation? So yes, this reading is catered towards and specifically more for those who are in a long distance relationship or situationship, I guess you could say. But if you are here watching this reading and maybe you are local to your person and you're still interested, I would just take this as emotional distance instead. But the intention here is definitely for those of you who have mileage between the two of you. And that could be just like maybe you guys live in the same state, but you know, they're in another city or they're in another county that's pretty far. That might be like a long drive or something. Maybe they live in a different state altogether. Maybe they're clear across the country. Maybe they're clear across the globe in a whole other country. So whatever the case may be, we are going to look into what is going on in this connection and what's going to happen. Like, where is this going to go? Are you guys going to unite? Is someone going to move? Are you guys going to be in the same place at the same time together? So that's what we're looking at here. Now, as for our groups, we have 4 different piles and 4 different places, basically. We're going to go from west to east, pretty much. And, you know, just pick whatever place resonates with you the best, I guess, between you and your person. So for pile number 1, we have the state of California, which is actually where I'm at right now, sitting right here in Los Angeles. So this is pile number 1, sunny California. For pile number 2, heading a little bit further east, just 4 hours away, we have the Wynn Hotel, the Wynn Casino over in Las Vegas. So we have a little bit of Vegas action going on here for pile 2. Pile 3, we make it all the way across the country and we land in New York City. These are the Twin Towers. I actually got this like in 2005 when I visited New York. You know, it's like a little memorabilia kind of thing. So pile number 3 is NYC. And pile number 4, we leave the United States altogether, go across the Atlantic, and we land in Paris. So we have the Eiffel Tower here for Paris, France, and that would be pile number 4. So pick your place that resonates with you the most, and we're going to kick things off here in California and see what's happening between you and your long-distance lover. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the state of California, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is happening between you and your long-distance love. All right, we got several cards here. We're actually going to kick it off first with your Loving Words from Jesus card and see what Jesus has to say in the situation right off the bat. And Jesus says, have faith in God, Mark 11:22. So if you're lacking any faith dealing with the situation with your person being far, far away, this is clearly a reminder to hold on to that. Keep that faith. Pretty basic message there. All right, moving on. We're going to see what else is going on here. Okay. We're going to kick things off here with What's Brewing, Spilling the Beans by Fire Witch Tarot, and we're going to see what comes through. We have Divorce, Breaking Contracts. So, it's possible that you could be in a third-party situation. Perhaps you're married or your person is married, something like that. So, regardless of the miles, in order for this to work out, someone's going to have to make a break from that commitment with that other person. And considering it does say divorce, breaking contract, I would say that whatever this contract is, it's wrapping itself up. It's getting finished and it's getting done. And this doesn't necessarily have to be for someone who who got married or something like that. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a third party. It could just be like other soul contract agreements in general. It could be family obligations. It could be maybe they're on some kind of special contract with their job and their work, and maybe their work is like keeping them in some specific place, like some specific location. So it could be any of those things. It doesn't necessarily have to be third party. It doesn't necessarily have to be marriage, but just any kind of promises, any kind of contracts, anything that I would say is more along the lines of an obligation, those things are being wrapped up. And that's a good thing, because if these obligations have been roadblocks for you guys to actually move forward, those roadblocks are being removed. We also have toxic, poison. So it does seem like there is some karma in your connection. Regardless of the distance, that's something that would definitely have to be worked out. And I'm not saying that they're toxic or you're toxic or the two of you together is toxic. That's not the vibe I'm picking up. But I'm picking up more so on anything that influences you guys in a toxic way, whether it's towards each other or in other areas of your life. Those things need to be broken and those things need to be worked out. So it could be toxic thought patterns and negative mental strongholds. It could be bad behaviors and addictions, that kind of thing. It could be maybe a toxic friendship that's holding you back. So this could look like a lot of different things, but these are things that definitely need to be broken and, kind of like gotten out of here, like a marriage certificate. That could be like another contractual thing that needs to be broken up here is, this commitment very well could be a karmic and toxic thing that's getting wrapped up. And we have destroyed, shattered, broken, and effed up. So with this card, I feel that it's basically saying that when you guys are apart from one another, I feel like both of you feel like this. You both feel destroyed. You both feel shattered. You both feel broken. Like, you both really, really take it hard when you guys are separated, when you guys are away from one another, and that mileage, when that gap of space is there. Like, it's really, really hard for you guys to deal with the weight and the pressure that comes with that. So it really destroys you and rips you up on the inside, which is not uncommon in a long distance situation. Okay, from The Ocean of Emotion by Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials, we have wild. Nothing can tame a spirit like this. So I do feel that when you guys do come together, that there's like this wildness that you both bring out in one another. Probably because you don't get to see each other very often. And it's like when you do come together, it's like everything is just boom, explosive. It's like you guys see each other and it's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Let's rip our clothes off now and, just bump and grind because it's been forever and a day and I haven't seen you in forever and I just want you now. It's like that kind of wildness, like that wild and passion and everything just explodes because it's been building and it's been mounting up, whether you guys haven't seen each other for days, weeks, months, years, it doesn't matter. Like, you guys kind of bring out this wild spirit in one another. We also have focus. I know what I want, and I can't stop until I have it. So I feel like you both feel this way towards each other in becoming closer to one another, in bridging that gap. I feel like you are both very focused on finding a resolution to this. You are both very focused on making this work, whether it means you moving to them or them moving to you, or maybe both of you moving somewhere and meeting halfway in between. Whatever the case may be, I definitely feel like you are both very focused on finding a solution to bridging that gap. And secrets. I hate not knowing what's going on. And once again, I feel like you both feel this way about each other when you guys are separated. During those times that you're apart, during the times that the mileage and the distance feels really rough, and you're kind of in that feeling destroyed energy, that destroyed place, you both kind of like second guess things, and you both wonder about the other, wondering like, oh, what is he up to? What is she up to? Who are they with? What are they doing? Are they hiding anything from me? Are they secretly seeing somebody else, even though, they say they love me or whatever? So I don't feel like either of you are actually keeping any secrets from one another, but I do feel like both of you get suspicious and suspect that there are secrets, even though I really don't feel like there are. But, that's natural. It's human to wonder that. It's natural to suspect that and to get trapped into those mind games sometimes. But, that's kind of where this whole having faith card comes in, because if you're having faith, you're not going to sit there and suspect and be suspicious or anything like that. You have to believe in the best of your person. It wouldn't matter whether you guys are physically near one another or not. Like, you have to believe in the best. That's what love does. Love believes in the best. And unless they've actually done something, unless there is proof, unless there is evidence that they have done something that's toxic, negative, betrayal of some sort, then don't even go there, because 99.9% of the time they're totally innocent, and then you've kind of created this nightmare illusion in your head, and the only one who winds up suffering from that is you. And you may even wind up hurting your other person, because they may feel upset that you would even think that of them when they would never think to do that of you in the first place. So, side tangent there, but I guess it needed to be said. Okay, moving right along, we have also from Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials, The Journey of Love Union, and we have forgiveness. Please forgive me. So, when that suspicion does seem to arise, like, I feel like that can kind of be a problem between the two of you guys. And, that could be a part of the toxic behavior that needs to be eliminated and needs to be dropped out of the situation. And, forgiveness needs to be there no matter what. Like, they may be looking for forgiveness from you. You may be looking for forgiveness from them. But either way, that should happen. And it doesn't really matter whether you decide to proceed forward with someone or not, if you decide to reconcile or not. Forgiveness is always about you. It's always about, taking care of yourself and making sure you're not holding on to bitterness and resentment. It's always about you. It's not about doing that for the other person. We also have isolated. I am empty without you. So once again, this is kind of that same energy here with destroyed. I feel like you both are feeling this way about one another. You're feeling very isolated. You're both feeling very alone. And you both feel that way when you are separated from one another. So, yes, indeed. And we have, I promise I'll never let go. So, despite the mileage, despite the distance, you guys have made this eternal spiritual promise to one another to work through this. And, honestly, you guys, when I look at this, when I see a card like this, and when I see a card that says have faith in God, I 110% believe that you guys can work through this long distance situation and you guys can make it work. I mean, truth be told, I don't think anyone should stay in a long distance situation. I think that I think a solution definitely needs to come to resolve that, because I think distance in itself is karmic. But what it comes down to, someone's just going to have to move. That's honestly the only way to resolve a long distance situation, is somebody has to move. And I do believe one of you guys will wind up moving to bridge that gap. You just have to kind of work through it to see who it's going to be and what the timing is going to be on that. But let's see what the Halloween Oracle has to say to you guys on this situation. And we have Graveyard, Unnecessary Fear. So once again, I feel like this ties back to the Secrets card. When you guys get suspicious of each other and you're wondering, what is this person keeping from me? Who are they hanging out with? What are they doing when we're far away from one another? Are they going off and seeing other people? Are they getting on dating apps to see who's closer to them? You guys gotta stop that because it's an unnecessary fear. So, a lot less fear and even just a little bit more faith. Even a little bit of faith goes a long way, but there's gotta be a lot less fear here, you guys. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Never forget that. Then we have Skull of Stars, Infinite Possibilities. So that's the other thing too. Like, I feel like a lot of the times when people are in a long distance situation, people usually feel very imprisoned by it and very chained by it. Like, how is this ever going to work out? There's limited options and that kind of thing. But the Skull of Stars is saying there's infinite possibilities, which means you guys don't have to be chained down to this. You guys don't have to feel like you're imprisoned where you have limited options. That there are more options. You just have to get creative and you have to think outside the box, I think is what it really comes down to here. And finally, we have Zombie Control. So, this is applicable, I think, in any love situation, whether it is your next door neighbor or someone who's on the other side of the world. Just try not to control the situation. Try not to control your person. Try not to control outcomes. Try not to control the situation. Just don't control, because when we try to take things into our own hands, 99.9% of the time, that doesn't work. It doesn't fly. It doesn't help anything. So yeah, this is something where you have to leave it in God's hands, because He's the only one who can ultimately take care of it. And the reason why God wants it to be in His hands is honestly, God wants the honor and the glory at the end of the day. He's the one who wants the credit, and He's the one who honestly deserves it. So let Him have the credit. He's going to be able to handle this much better than you ever could. And that's just the truth of the matter. So, so don't control the situation. And finally, on this blank little card right here, which is not so blank on the other side, is a song that your person would dedicate to you. These are songs that I have channeled and written down on these cards. And let's see what they would dedicate to you if they were to make a song request or something on the radio. Without Me by Halsey. And Without Me is kind of it's kind of a sad song in a sense. But it's like she's kind of saying you wouldn't have gotten to where you are if it weren't for me. You wouldn't have been able to do anything without me, kind of a thing. And I feel like you guys kind of feel like that way about each other at times, especially when you're in this energy of suspecting that there's stuff going on and feeling like there's secrets, and when you're feeling all destroyed on the inside, and when you're feeling empty and isolated without that person. So I really feel like this song comes out heavily kind of in a sense when you guys are not in a good space about one another. That's not to say that the love isn't there, because it is, but you know, it's like this is kind of like when that frustration comes out is the best way I can describe it. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I see going on for you guys, what's currently happening in your long distance love. Hopefully you will be able to see your person soon, and you guys will be able to work through this and bridge that gap. Anyway, if this message did not flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. And feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. Otherwise, I'm incredibly grateful that you guys stopped by here to hang out with me just for a little bit today. That's always awesome to me and mind-blowing to me. So yeah, otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Win Las Vegas here, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is happening with you and your long distance love. All right, so we're going to start off here with your loving words from Jesus card, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. And let's see what Jesus has to say about the situation. We have, give and it shall be given unto you. Luke 6:38. So, you know, maybe in your times of frustration dealing with your person, maybe one of the ways to not be so focused on the distance is to give to others, you know, and that could look in many different ways. It could be as simple as paying for the person behind you at the drive-thru. It could be, you know, maybe help babysit somebody's kids. It could be running errands for someone that you know. It could be a lot of different things, but it's a lot harder to focus on ourselves and our own problems when we're giving back and we're helping others. I mean, you know, like, for example, right here, right now with myself and what I'm doing, you know, I'm doing a general pick-a-pile for the collective, and I'm not paid to do this, but I'm giving back to you guys. I'm giving to you guys because I know you guys, you know, want help and you guys want guidance in your situations and what's going on. And when I do that, you know, it's helpful to me too. Like, it makes me feel good that I'm helping you guys. So that may be what this card is trying to say to you right now, is to not focus so much on your own problems and help somebody else fix theirs. All right, so we're gonna start off here even more so into What's Brewing? Spilling the Beans by Fire Witch Tarot, and we're gonna see what's brewing in this long distance connection. Getting a room, hotel, motel, suite, business, pleasure. Well, I mean, this definitely, oops, as I kick my stand in the process, it's so exciting apparently. This definitely implies travel, because we have a hotel, motel, Holiday Inn kind of thing going on here. So this definitely tells me that if travel hasn't been happening, it will be happening, and you guys will be meeting up and probably having fun in the hotel, if you get my drift. But yeah, so I feel like this is just definite confirmation that there's travel happening here for sure. And total drama, action. All right, so I feel like this distance between the two of you, the physical distance, it creates a lot of drama. So It seems like probably a lot of arguments and disputes and misunderstandings probably all revolves around the physical gap between you guys. This is stuff that may not necessarily happen if you guys were closer together. Like, for example, maybe you guys are texting, and texting is a wonderful thing, but sometimes messages don't exactly come across as clearly through a text as it would be with a phone call, or if you actually saw somebody face to face, kind of a thing. Things can be misconstrued and taken the wrong way. So maybe you guys have that happen a lot, where you'll be texting and they'll take something the wrong way, or you'll take something the wrong way, but that's not what the other person intended. And then it creates this whole thing, and next thing you know, you guys are duking it out and there's drama, and it's over stuff that never was even like supposed to be upsetting in the first place. So I definitely feel like that's definitely a factor and a breakdown in some of the connection here. And we also have family time. So maybe when you guys do travel to see one another, maybe you wind up spending time with one another's families. Maybe like your family and their family, like maybe one of you like left the city or the town or whatever where you're originally from, and maybe you moved somewhere else, and maybe like you go back and you travel back home, and that's where your family is and that's where their family is, and it's like that's where all those roots and that hometown kind of stuff is. Maybe when you go there, like that's what's always happening. Like it's not just about you two, but it's also about like your families and everything. So, that could be a possibility, or it could be vice versa. Maybe you're the person who is in the hometown and they were the person who left and moved somewhere else. And then when they come back, it's like, oh, they have their family to see, and then there's you, and then there's your family. But either way, family is definitely a factor here. It's definitely a part of your connection, despite the fact that there is physical distance. And who knows, the family may even be a part of this drama. Maybe sometimes family likes to put in unsolicited opinions. There could be family members saying like, oh, why are you investing your time in so-and-so? Because, they're so far away. Why don't you just find someone, nice and decent that's, like 2 miles away down the street or something? But, they don't necessarily understand the deep bond and the deep connection you have, despite the fact that there are so many miles. So that could be a part of the drama as well. Okay, from Ocean of Emotion by Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials, we have My Hands Are Tied, Codependent. Okay, so this could be another reason why we have some drama happening in your situation. The physical distance may make you guys a little bit codependent on one another, because it is infrequent that you see each other or talk to each other. So it kind of makes you hold on even tighter because of that. And I get that it's 1,000% tempting to want to hold on even more when there's this extra obstacle in your way. But unfortunately, it's not an excuse to be codependent. There's never a good reason to be codependent. So there definitely could be some codependency here between the two of you in regards to that. And as for My Hands Are Tied, I feel like outside of your connection together, there could just be like other obligations and other things going on that you each may have separately, individually, that is making your hands tied right now, which is like keeping you tied down to where you're at. You could have even codependent connections in each of your separate locations. Maybe you each have some codependent relationships with family members that keep you where you're at. Or maybe you have codependent friendships, or maybe you're even a little bit codependent on work with your job that keeps you locked down where you're at. So it's going to be a little bit different for everybody, but you're going to have to really look at, where are you being codependent in this? Are you being codependent with your person because you guys have space between the two of you? Or are you codependent on things happening around you, which is keeping you stuck where you are and not moving forward with your person? So, and it could be a mixture of both too. So always keep that in mind. We also have committed until death do us part isn't enough. So despite that there's some drama, there may be some crazy family action going on, and there's codependencies going on, you guys are committed to one another. Like, this is a higher level, a soul commitment type of relationship, divine counterpart, twin flame type of situation. So that commitment is there. Like, it doesn't matter if you guys are 2 miles away from each other or 2,000 miles away from each other. It doesn't matter. That doesn't break the connection, So the commitment is definitely there. And finally, we have integrity. I'm trying to do the right thing. So I do believe that both of you are really working hard at this. You guys are trying to do the right thing in the middle of this very challenging long distance situation. You may not always necessarily know what the right thing is, but you know that where you're at right now is not good enough. It's not where you want to stay. So you're doing everything possible to improve the situation. And that doesn't necessarily only mean like figuring out when you're going to see each other or if someone's going to move or anything like that. But it's also about like working on yourself. And I do believe that during the down times, you are very busy like working on yourself, because it's like, the more you work on yourself, the closer you're going to get to understanding this distance between the two of you and how to bridge that gap and where that's ultimately going to lead. All right. Also from Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials, we have Journey of Love Union. And from this deck, we have Nostalgic, I Love You. So I do feel like when you guys have your time apart, when you guys are not around one another, you guys heavily miss one another. There's a lot of nostalgia. You guys probably reflect and look back on the good times, the good old days, the good memories. So I do feel like this nostalgia energy is something that is a fuel. It helps energize you guys. It keeps you guys going in this. It gives you a reason to keep fighting, to keep pushing through, because you truly do love one another. I can hear you, telepathic. So, if something crazy happened in the world and all of a sudden tomorrow we all woke up and there were no more phones, there was no more internet, there was no nothing, there was no way to communicate with somebody that you weren't like talking to face, you guys would weirdly still be okay, because you guys have this telepathic communication going on. You guys can feel one another, you guys can sense one another, so it doesn't matter how many miles are between the two of you, it cannot break that bond. It is definitely there. And, there'll probably be times where it's like you'll call them and they'll pick up the phone and they'll be just like, oh, I was just thinking about you, or, something like that. Like, those kinds of things probably happen to you guys a lot. And we have Desire. I can still taste you. So I feel like this kind of ties in here with this nostalgia. When you guys get nostalgic, you guys probably think of these very passionate moments that have happened in the past between the two of you. I feel like those memories, those special moments, that desire, It's the kind of stuff that fuels you guys and keep you guys going. It keeps you in the loop, it keeps you in the program to keep you connected and to keep fighting for this relationship. I mean, where there's no desire, you're not gonna like care, you're not gonna keep going. So, I mean, obviously there's desire here. You guys care, you're still working through this, you're still working at it. Then we have the Halloween Oracle. And from the Halloween Oracle, we have the Underworld, where all things pause and begin again. So there may be points in your relationship because of the distance where it feels like things are just halted. Things are just at a standstill, it's at a stop. There's no way for things to evolve and progress and move forward. And that's common and that's true in a long distance relationship. But you guys need to remember that it's not going to stay like that. You guys are not always going to be stuck on pause, that eventually, God's going to press play and you guys are going to, be flying through things. So just remember that when things do feel stuck, it's not going to be like that forever. If there is one thing that you can count on in life, it is change. Things will always change. We also have Skull of the Flowers coming through the ashes. So basically the way I see this card is, when you have ashes, obviously you think of something that has passed away, something tied to death kind of a thing. But coming through the ashes, it reminds me of like the rising phoenix, the phoenix that rises out of the ashes. It reminds me of basically when you have beauty for ashes. And when you have beauty for ashes, you're trading off what has been dead and what has been broken, and you're trading it and upgrading it to something that is reborn. It's something that is fiery and alive and new. And I feel like that ties in actually very well with this pausing situation. Like things may be paused, and that's where the ashes may be, but once you press play, it's like you become that rising phoenix. And I feel like for you guys, when the button is pressed again for press play, I feel like your relationship will be renewed and it's going to be better than ever. And it'll be better than ever because you guys are probably going to work through and find, you're going to find a way to bridge that gap is what it comes down to. You're going to find a way to work through the distance. So you will be a rising phoenix out of the long distance. And then we have scrying, intuition. So I feel like what this card is saying is basically, you guys, pay attention to your intuition, because your intuition knows all. Your intuition knows way better than anybody else. Hopefully this reading has helped you, but honestly, your intuition is going to know even better than this reading. And if this reading isn't for you, then your intuition's going to know it. But if this reading has helped you, once again, your intuition's going to know it. So pay attention to your intuition. If your intuition is saying, I need to move, I need to be closer to them, then move. Then go. Pack up your bags and leave. If your intuition is saying, they really need to come to me, then you need to start like putting down boundaries with this person and start really making a case for them to come your way. If you guys need to like maybe have a trial run of some sort of moving closer to one another, you need to try that. Whatever the option is, bottom line is follow your intuition. It will never lead you astray in this situation. And I just realized it is getting darker and darker outside earlier as I'm wrapping this pile up here. I like to try to film during the day, but sometimes I don't always get to it during the day, so that way then I don't have to like use unnatural light. I like to use the natural light if I can, but I don't think I can do that very much longer. I gotta turn on this ring light. Anyways, I think you guys can still see pretty well though. Like the candle light makes it look pretty cool. We're on the last card anyway. The last card is this blank card, and it is not so blank because there is a song on the other side of it, and this would be a song that I have channeled from the masculines to the feminines, and this would basically be what they would have to dedicate to you if they could, a song on the radio. And you guys got What's Left of Me by Nick Lachey. So, you know, with pile number 1, it was kind of like a wah, wah, sad song that came out. You guys kind of got a sad song too. So I feel like a lot of the long distance relationship situations, they feel sad. Like they just feel lost. And I get it. I totally get it, you guys. But I feel like this is the song that comes out when you guys are apart from one another, when you guys are physically not near one another. Like you kind of just ask that question, like, what's left of me? Like, what do I have to fight for in this situation? Like, why am I doing this? But yeah, but you guys need to hold on and have faith and push through. Really tap into that intuition. I feel like that's going to be a key thing here for you guys. Anyway, if the message did not flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Also, give this video a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. And, you know, otherwise, you guys, I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful that you decided to stop by here today and to spend some time with me. That always just like blows my mind every single time. So yeah, but otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I'm sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the World Trade Center here, New York, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what is going on in your long distance love situation. All right, so we're going to start things off here with your Loving Words from Jesus card, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away, and we're going to see what Jesus has to say. And we have, with God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. So I feel like this card is a reminder to you guys, no matter how impossible the situation seems with your long distance person, don't give up. Don't give up hope. Don't give up faith, because anything is possible. Anything. God can definitely move the mountains of the distance if he needs to. All right. We're going to check out What's Brewing, Spilling the Beans by Fire Witch Tarot. And we're going to spill the beans here, you guys. We're going to see what's happening with your long distance person. We have Crush. So it seems like despite the fact that there's distance between the two of you, you guys kind of have a cute little crush going on between the two of you guys. And, you know, because it is 2 little kids here on it, you know, it kind of reminds me of just like innocence and young love. And, you know, that's a very positive thing. That's a very good way to kick off a long distance reading, if anything. That means that there is that quality of innocence between the two of you and kind of like that crush energy. And, you know, who knows? Maybe you guys have known each other since you were really young, since you were children. There could be inner child stuff here at play too. But, yeah, that's not a bad place to start. Oh, and then it starts to get ugly. Well, I spoke too soon. Because now we have Worst Nightmare. So I feel like Worst Nightmare is basically in reference to the fact that when you guys are far away from each other, it feels like both of your worst nightmares. And I feel like you both feel this way. That when you guys are separated, when you guys are in your respective locations far away from one another, it's basically a nightmare. It does not feel good. Not one bit. However, this is your love story, once upon a time. And, I realize long distance totally sucks, obviously, but this is a part of your love story. And, any love story that's really worth reading or watching in a movie or being inspired by, it comes with a lot of ups and downs and plot twists, and it's not easy. It's not like boy met girl. Girl and boy fell in love. Girl and boy got married. The end. That's boring. That doesn't inspire anybody. But the distance between you guys, even though it's challenging right now, you never know. You may wind up inspiring somebody else through your situation. You may inspire someone else who has a long distance situation, who maybe is a little bit weaker, who maybe is a little less further along in things than you have, and they feel like giving up, and then they look at you and everything that you've been through with your person and how you've overcome so much, and they're going to be like, hey, if so and so can do it, we can do it too. So, you're going to be inspiring people. People are going to be looking up to you guys with your love story. And the other beautiful thing too about a love story is, how do they end, you guys? And they all lived happily ever after. So happily ever after is going to come. It's not going to come without some chaos first, but it's going to come. And the thing is, when it does come, you're going to be so much more grateful and so much more thankful for it than if it had just been handed to you on a silver platter. So it's going to make it that much more special and that much more of a celebration worth enjoying. So enjoy your love story. It really is a beautiful thing. Okay, moving on to Ocean of Emotion by Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials. We have wise. I've found the wisdom needed to change my perspective. So probably while you guys are apart, you both probably get some serious downtime to yourselves. And I believe that even though it may be painful being apart from one another, it's really forced each of you to grow up spiritually, to grow up emotionally and mentally. It's making you wiser. Once again, it's putting the wheels in motion here for this love story that's going to inspire others. And you wind up inspiring others because you wind up being wise. You wind up having this advice and this knowledge that other people haven't tapped into just yet. So, once again, that's a really good thing. We also have tired. I'm exhausted and drained mentally, emotionally, and physically. And once again, I feel like you guys are both feeling like this. I feel like the separation can be very draining at times, and it can be exhausting. And yeah, you guys just get tired and you're like, oh, enough of this. It's been how many weeks? It's been how many months? It's been, whatever amount of time, and I haven't seen you, and I don't talk to you as much, or, whatever it may be. And, you get frustrated. Totally understandable. In these moments of feeling tired, you may feel like throwing in the towel altogether, but don't. Don't do that. It's okay to get tired, but when you're feeling that exhausted and drained, that's the time when you need to pray, when you need to meditate, when you need to, just go within, spend some quality time with God, and that's going to be what's ultimately going to rejuvenate you and refresh you and give you the energy and the strength to carry on. And out of that, you're just going to get wiser. But I definitely get it. And we have stuck. I can't break out of these illusions. So, once again, because of the distance, you and your person may feel very stuck. You just may feel like, this is it. How are we going to move forward from here? You're there, I'm here. How can we possibly bridge this gap? And when you don't have a plan of action, that's going to make you feel pretty stuck. And ultimately, in order to not get stuck anymore, it starts with prayer, like I said, because you also need inspired ideas. You need inspired ideas and a little bit of creativity. Because if you have inspired ideas and creativity, you're going to start brainstorming ways to bridge that gap, because you can't stay like this forever. You can't be stuck forever. You got to start manifesting what you really want with this person, which is bridging that gap, which is, uniting you guys into one place, basically. But I understand the feeling of feeling tired and stuck. Those are perfectly natural emotions to experience when you're in a long distance situation, but you don't want to stay there. That's the thing. Like, we're all human. We're all going to experience the full array of emotions, both positive and negative. But when you experience those negative ones, you kind of need to like spank it on the ass and then move on. I don't know how else to describe it than that. But just, spank it on the ass so it just goes away. Not just goes away, like bury it or anything like that, but just, feel it and then let it out, release it, kind of a thing, You don't want to stay there, is the point. That's not a good place to live. So from Journey of Love Union, also by Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials, we have duality. Can we kiss and make up? So this distance may cause some friction between you and your person. It may cause some disagreements and arguing. Maybe you guys don't always necessarily see eye to eye, especially in the culture that we live in nowadays. It's just so easy to text people and to not like actually get on the phone and have a conversation and hear their voice and hear the inflection in their tone, or, to like sit down and have a conversation with somebody face to face, kind of a thing. So when it comes down to especially like big conversations, don't do it over text, because in text things can easily get lost in translation. Things can get misconstrued, people can misunderstand one another. If you can talk on the phone, if you can FaceTime, if you can do any of those things, I would advise doing that first and foremost. But yeah, that may help curb any of the friction. But any arguments that have gone down, like they do want to make up with you, I believe that you want to make up with them. This is not like something you guys want to continue doing to one another at a distance. I wanted you the moment I saw you. Seduction. So despite the fact that you guys may not see each other all the time, there's definitely that desire there. They definitely feel seduced by you. So yeah, that's definitely there. Like the spice of life and the heat and the passion, doesn't matter how long it's been, doesn't matter how far away you are, that's definitely still there regardless. And I've been watching you. Jealousy. So this one I feel like is heavily connected to social media here, you guys. So once again, when you're physically not near somebody, it can be very tempting to hop onto their socials and start checking out everything they're saying, everything they're doing, everywhere they're checking in, every post that they upload, every picture that they put up, all the comments that they may get from other people and that kind of thing. It's really easy to get sucked into that bubble, basically. And when you do that, sometimes it can take your mind into bad places. It can get your imagination all stirred up. And your imagination isn't always necessarily your friend. And it can get you thinking that things are going on that there shouldn't be. You can start being suspicious of things and believing that, they're going off doing things with somebody else when they're not at all. So I feel like you guys kind of do this to each other, that in the distance, when you guys aren't necessarily talking and all the other kind of stuff, you go check out, his Facebook. he goes and checks out your Instagram or, you know, whatever it may be. Like, you guys start checking each other out and watching what's going on. And jealousy very well can happen, but I feel like this is unfounded jealousy. I don't feel like they're stepping out on you or you're stepping out on them, but it's like, you know, you could see a female comment on a picture or something, and you may be like, oh my God, he's sleeping with her, when, you know, she probably has like a boyfriend or something like that, and it's not him, and this is just like a random girl he probably works with or something. So, you know, don't blow things out of proportion at all. Don't get overreactive unless they've actually like legitimately given you a reason to. But if it's just over social media, like, don't do that, you guys. Don't do that shit. That's unnecessary drama. But yeah, I feel like you guys kind of do that to each other, which once again, like I said, is understandable in any kind of long distance situation. Okay, moving on to the Halloween oracle, we have Apple, risk and reward. So, you know, most of the time when people get themselves involved in a long distance situation, they don't want to. And they don't want to because they think it's risky. They think that it's not going to work out, that it's too much work, that other person is just going to cheat or something like that. But in the case of you guys, I feel like there is reward on the other side. In this situation, you guys have this beautiful love story that is going to be an example to others. And because of that, there is a reward. So, you know, what is that saying? Like, nothing that's worth having comes easy. So, you know, this is not easy, of course not. But the greater the risk, the greater the reward. And that's exactly what you guys are going to have here. Invisibility, authenticity. So I feel like this card is a reminder to you guys to keep it real with one another. Remain authentic, because it's easy when someone is already physically distant from you, when they're already far away from you. It's easy to kind of just like put on an act and make it seem like everything's okay, or like, you know, you're doing this and you're doing that. Maybe, you know, especially with like the social media thing, a lot of times people will go online and they'll just show off their highlight reel. They never show the behind the scenes stuff. And I feel like you guys need to not do that with one another. Like, it's okay to show each other your highlight reels to one another, because you should enjoy and celebrate in the good things that go on in one another's lives. But don't only share that. Share the messy behind the scenes with one another. You don't have to go and post it on social media, but you should go and share it with the person that you feel the most closely intimate with. So, so be okay with sharing those messy details of your lives, regardless of the distance. Especially with physical distance, you need to keep it real with one another. You can't just like pretend everything's okay, or hold back on your emotions and not say how you're really feeling or what you're really thinking, because it's just gonna delay and mess with any kind of progress that happens between you guys. And then we have trick or treat, mischief and play. So I feel like this card is basically a reminder, you guys, to have fun with one another. Like, when you guys are physically around one another, have fun, enjoy those times, be playful, be like a couple of little kids here and have fun. Be like little kids that are getting on their Halloween costumes and are ready to go out and go trick-or-treating. And, you know, that time of year is coming up really soon, because it's the end of September right now. So before you know it, it is going to be Halloween. But yeah, enjoy and play with one another. And, you know, I really do believe that you guys can make this work, that you guys can bridge this gap and bring things together. and not have to have that physical distance. It's obviously going to take some work and communication between the two of you, but I do believe that can definitely happen. Okay. Oh, sorry, a little yawn there. Finally, last but not least, I have a little song for you guys here. And this is basically just a bunch of songs I channeled for you guys from your person. And this would be whatever song they have to dedicate to you right here, right now. If you were to like turn on the radio and they were to dedicate a song to you, if people even do that anymore. But this is what they have to say. 1111 by Austin Mahone, and as you guys know, 1111 is the twin flame number, so I feel like this is confirmation. This is your twin flame. They want to let you know that, and you know, no amount of physical distance can keep twin flames apart from one another. They're going to eventually reunite no matter what. So there you go. Anyways, that's what I see going on for you guys in your long distance love. If the message didn't flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did help you out, please let me know and leave a comment down below. Otherwise, give this video a big thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. And I just want to thank you guys for stopping by, spending a little time here with me today. You know, that means the world to me. That's so like friggin' awesome. It's not even funny. Always blows my mind. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 4. If you picked the Eiffel Tower, then this is going to be the reading for you. And we are going to find out what is happening with your long distance love. Long distance, maybe as far as Paris. All right. We're going to start things off with a card from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away, and we're going to see what Jesus has to say. And you guys got Pray Always, Luke 21:36. So I feel like this card is a reminder to you guys, no matter what is going on in your situation, no matter the distance, no matter the time, pray. Pray without ceasing. Pray, 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 pray. Pray, 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 pray. Pray. So, yes, I believe that is the point. Pray. Yeah. So, pretty clear there. Pray. All right, moving on. Aside from praying, let's see what's going on. We're going to see what is brewing here. Spilling the beans in your situation from Fire Witch Tarot. Let's see what's going on. We have sexual protection. So, obviously at some point you must be seeing this person. Because right away, I feel like when you guys do come together, when you guys do unite, when that gap of distance is closed, like, that's probably the first thing that happens. I mean, it's almost like, forget hi, how are you? It's like, hey, body parts, let's collide. So, yeah, so maybe this is a reminder that, you know, if you don't want a baby or something, to make sure one of those is being worn, but otherwise, I feel like this card is definitely saying that despite the distance, when you guys do come together, when you guys are actually in the same location, that it goes straight to the bedroom, because it's kind of like there's all this pent-up energy, there's all this pent-up fire and heat and passion, because you guys haven't been using it anywhere else unless you guys are masturbating or something. But, you know, even that doesn't do the justice of the real thing, obviously. So, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of pent-up energy that eventually leads to this. We have anger management. So I feel like when you guys are separated, when you guys are apart from one another, there's a lot of anger over this. There's a lot of anger over this distance. It makes you both angry. I don't feel like it's just one or the other, which is funny because for every single pile, when these emotions have come out, when they've come to the surface, it really hasn't been just one person or the other. It's really been a mutual thing. And it's no different with you guys. So I feel like you and your person are both very angry over this distance. For some people, it can make them sad, but I feel like in your guys' situation, it makes you mad. It makes you angry. And we have putting them in their place, which kind of goes along with the anger thing. And once again, this has been a similar trend in a lot of the other piles so far is, oh my gosh, I don't know why I keep yawning. I just yawned at like the end of the other one and now I'm yawning again. It's not even that late. It's 7:16 as I'm recording this right now. It's not even late. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, but yeah, I feel like a lot of the times, especially when there's long distance, there can be miscommunication. And, miscommunication can happen a lot of the times, like if you're texting. To me, I think it's always a lot better, especially if you're long distance with somebody and you have no other options. It's better to actually pick up the phone and talk to each other over the phone or FaceTime, something like that, because then you can hear the other person's voice. You can see their face if you're FaceTiming. Like, you can really understand the emotion and the intent behind the words. You don't always necessarily get that when it's in text. So I feel like sometimes things can be misunderstood in text, and it can, bring out some anger, and it can wind up, making you guys fight like this, where it's like one of you wants to put the other in their place, and it may be actually unnecessary. You may not even necessarily need to do this, because 9 times out of 10, it's a misunderstanding. It's not that you guys don't actually care about each other or something. All right, from Ocean of Emotion by Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials, you guys have depressed. Nothing matters anymore. I give up. So, you and your person very much so may be in this energy. Once again, when you guys are separated, I also feel like, once again, this is a mutual thing, that there's a lot of depression, that there's a lot of anger, that this physical separation is the source of a lot of that for both of you. Not being near one another, it really highlights a lot of anger and depression. A lot of the times you both probably feel like giving up on one another, giving up on the connection, because it's just like you're too far away. This has been going on for too long. How are we supposed to resolve this? That kind of thing. We also have healthy. I'm becoming my best self. So despite the distance, I do feel like the distance has had at least one positive quality to it, and the fact that it's been a tool for both of you guys to become healthier versions of yourself. Because realistically, if you guys were meant to be in the same location here and now, you would be. But if you're not, that means that something needs to be worked out, something needs to be sorted out before you can get there. And most likely it's this. It's an opportunity when you guys are far away from one another for you guys to become healthier and better versions of yourselves. So that way then, when the time does come for that gap of distance to be bridged and to be connected to one another physically, you guys are going to be at the best of your best. You're both going to have the healthiest versions of yourselves to offer one another and to interact with one another, which means when you guys are together physically, reunited and everything, that means it's going to succeed. It's going to go well. It's not like you guys are going to come together and it's like, oh, now that we're in the same place, we can't get along and we can't see eye to eye and we can't communicate right and we can't understand each other's love language and we don't understand what's going on. So we're just going to break up and we just, went through all this for nothing. But I don't believe that's going to be the case because you're becoming healthy now. You're becoming healthy now. So you're going to have an even healthier relationship then. So it's not all for nothing. The distance is a tool. It's like a sharpening tool. It sucks and it's painful. It's like the potter's wheel, It's like God has you guys sitting on the potter's wheel and you and your person are like these pieces of clay. And he's just like stripping and peeling away pieces of the clay and it hurts and it's painful and it's like, ouch, you're poking at me and you're prodding at me and you're pushing parts of me in and pulling parts of me out and stuff like that, and it sucks. But at the end, there's this beautiful masterpiece, and I feel like that's what's happening right now. That's what the distance is causing and creating. It's creating something beautiful. And you're going to find freedom through this. I'm ready to break free. Freedom. So you guys are going to find freedom from the distance. It's not going to last forever. You guys will be united in the same place at the same time. A lot of the times long distance can feel like a prison. It can feel very limiting, like you don't have a lot of options, but it's not going to be like that forever. Freedom is on its way. 100%. Freedom is coming. Okay. From Journey of Love Union, which is also from Bridget Rao of Divine Essentials, we have I'm so tired of dancing alone, depression, and we already had depressed come out here, so there's definitely some deep depression going on. And I'm not saying that it is like a clinical medical thing, but it's possible that it could be. You never know on either side. But whether it is or whether it isn't, there's definitely some depression going on, and I feel like you and your person, once again, you're mirroring this. You both feel the same way, that you're tired of dancing alone. You're tired of being alone. You're tired of being alone in your own respective communities, in your own respective places. And you guys would rather be together, same place, same time, same location, same all that. I need to express myself. Balance and imbalances. So another tricky thing that long distance brings along is imbalance, like when you are far away from someone that you feel very close to and there is that emotional intimacy that is there, there is an imbalance when you can't like be near that person. And yeah, it's not balanced. And part of that is that need to express yourself, because it's kind of hard to do that when there's physical distance at play. So yeah, I feel like a lot of the times when you guys are not in the same place and maybe communication will kind of be, even if it's not non-existent, even if it's just like very light, there's not a lot of it happening. I feel like this desire to express how you really feel, to express what you really want with this person, is magnified a lot during those moments. And I feel like it's the same way for them. They have unexpressed things that they want to say to you. You have unexpressed things that you want to say to them. I feel like you both hold back a lot because of the distance, because you don't want to like put pressure on the other, or to be too overwhelming with the other, or just want to try and put more pressure on a situation where there's already a lot of pressure. So that's what I see with that card. And dreams, I'm so proud of you. So even though you guys are at a distance from one another, I feel like this card is basically saying that you guys are both very supportive of one another. That it doesn't matter how far away you are or how much time it's been since you've seen one another. You're proud of each other. You're proud of the lives that you're living with one another. So, whether it's accomplishments that you guys are achieving at work, or maybe personal goals of some sort. Maybe one of you is trying to shave down your personal debts, or maybe one of you is working on losing weight and becoming healthier and working on your fitness. Whatever it is that your other things are that you're working on in your lives, I feel like you both support each other in that. You support each other in your dreams, in your goals, in your visions, in your dreams. So yeah, like you guys are definitely supportive of one another, and that's a part of, I feel like, what is healthy and what is going well in this as well. Okay, from the Halloween oracle, we have the witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. So with the witch, I kind of look at this as like, the witch is like a master manifester in a sense. Kind of like the magician, I want to say, if you're looking at the tarot. So, so I feel like between the two of you, even though you have this distance, even though you have this obstacle in front of you, you guys can overcome it. I feel like the witch is confirmation that you guys can and will overcome it, that you guys can and will unite together in the same place, and it won't be long distance forever, but it's something you gotta manifest, because that's what the witch does. She manifests stuff. And I feel like you guys are super powerful at manifesting, and you're so powerful, you gotta be careful and mindful on how you're doing it, what you're doing, because you're so powerful. You could manifest amazing and beautiful things, the things that you want, like being with this person and being in the same place with this person, or you could manifest some pretty crappy stuff and the exact opposite of what you want, and you could create more distance with this person. And the way that you do that, it's all in your thoughts, you guys. If you're thinking negatively, if you're being down about stuff, if you're having these bad mental strongholds, you're going to be manifesting more ugly crap. But if you're thinking positively, if you're being creative and innovative on ways to communicate with one another and see one another, if you're being open, if you're being receptive, if you're just kind of going with the flow of the situation and not putting so much pressure there, even though it is a pressurized situation. And if you're having faith and trusting, believing in the impossible, you're going to manifest great things. So just be mindful of your thoughts, because you guys are pretty big manifestors and can manifest things towards the good or towards the bad with this. So keep that in mind. Manifest the good. For sure. Okay, we have ancestors. The love and legacy of our DNA. So I feel like with this card, it's kind of a reference in regards to family. There could be family involved in your connection with this person. I don't remember which pile it was. It might have been pile 2. But there was another pile that did have like a family thing going on with it. So family very well could be a part of your connection. And even aside from that, like, I feel like you guys have family on the other side, family that has passed, that are kind of being like guardian angels to you guys and helping you and assisting you, leading you, guiding you through this situation with this person, that they are supportive, that they do want to help you, and they want to see you guys win at the end of the day, is what it is. So, but I feel like it's both. Like, I feel like it's family who has passed, and it's also family that is currently living that like is supportive of you guys. So I feel like this is just basically saying that you guys are supported, that there are people around you who love you and care about you, who love and care about both of you guys and want to see you both happy and want to see you both succeed in this connection between one another. And it could even be family in terms of like friends, because sometimes our friends are like our family for us, you know, like our soul family, that kind of thing. And we have ghost regret. So I feel like sometimes when you guys are apart, you may be experiencing and feeling regret. You know, maybe looking back on times you guys have spent together, and maybe you're like, oh, I should have said this. I should have said that. I should have done this differently. I shouldn't have, you know, done this or that or the other thing. You may reflect on those times a lot, because those times that you do see each other are more few and far in between than other people who are closer to one another. So you may kind of look back on the times that you do spend together, and you may kick yourself in the ass thinking like, oh, why did I say that? Why did I do that? Like, you know, we already don't get to see each other very often as it is, but don't do that. Don't beat yourself up over anything that has gone down negatively between the two of you, because you know what? What's happened has happened. It's in the past now. There's no sense of living in regret about it. It's better to just let it go. If it wasn't supposed to happen, it wouldn't have happened. But if it happened for a reason. If it's something that you didn't necessarily like, then it's something to learn from. It's something to grow from. It's something that you know now not to do, or to do later at a different time. So don't live in regret. Let go of anything that's holding you back dealing with this connection. Because if you guys want to move forward and be in the same space with one another, you're not going to be able to do that if you're holding on to other stuff, even from an energetic point that is holding you back. Okay, and finally, last but not least, from this blank card, there is a song on the other side of it, a song that I have channeled from your person. And this would basically be like if you guys were to tune into the radio, this would be a song that they would dedicate to you. And yeah, we're going to see what they have to say to you. Animals by Maroon 5. So Animals is a pretty sexy song. Whenever I think of that song, I think of the music video and how Adam Levine is kind of like a creepy stalker guy. He's like the one guy on the planet that if you were going to have a stalker and a creeper after you, you would want it to be Adam Levine. So maybe your person kind of creeps on you and you kind of creep on them when you guys are apart from one another. But I feel like when you guys do unite with one another, you know, Animals is kind of like where this sexual protection comes in. You know, he just wants to like pounce on you and get up all on you, get up all in you and everything. And yeah, it turns into a very like, yes, there's love, and I'm sure there's tenderness and all the other kind of stuff, but I feel like there's definitely this animalistic kind of thing that comes out too, because it's just like, roar, I just want to eat you alive because I haven't seen you in so long. So I feel like that's just kind of a verification of that on that note of things. But anyways, that's what I see going on for you guys in your long distance love connection. If the message did not flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did make sense, please let me know. Leave a comment down below. Also, give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. Otherwise, I am just incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys decided to stop by here, spend a little time with me, and hang out here for this reading. I always appreciate that. That definitely warms my heart. So yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love.